Head to Dollar Tree because these are some DIYs you're going to want to make in 2025. Hello everyone, my name is Courtney. Let's get crafting. Let's start with this DIY that you will definitely want to make in 2025. This is an all good things jar. You need a jar, a tag, ribbon. You can grab whatever kind of jar you want. I grabbed a clear jar because I want to be able to see how many good things I'm putting inside the jar. But what you want to do is take your tag. I'm just using some stickers I had in my stash to put 2025. I'm going to tie the tag to the jar and then finish it off with some chiffon ribbon. And I had these paper doilies that I'm going to use to kind of keep with the nice little dainty vibe of the chiffon ribbon. And anytime something good happens, whether it's teeny tiny small or great big, I'm going to write it on a doily and stick it in the jar. At the end of 2025, I will read all the good things that happened in that year. Now you can also, if you need to, read this throughout the year just to kind of help you remember all the good things. But everyone, I feel like, needs a good things jar in 2025. To this DIY, you want to grab yourself one of the bamboo cutting boards. You need one of the Dollar Tree easels, and then you need some type of little holder. Now, this is a Scrabble tile holder that I just had because it was a Scrabble game that wasn't complete, but you could grab a board from Dollar Tree. If you have a 1x2, that would work as well. And what we are making is a little phone holder. I found that when I'm in the kitchen and I'm using some kind of recipe or something like that, my big bulky recipe holder is just huge, so I just wanted to make something that would be a little more accessible for my phone. So I started by deciding where exactly I needed the wooden holder to go and where I kind of wanted my phone to fall on the cutting board. Once I figured that out, I did mark at the top of my Scrabble tile holder, my little piece of wood, and I decided that I wanted to paint this 2 colors. So I'm going to grab some painter's tape off at the bottom of the bamboo cutting board. I grabbed some Waverly chalk paint in the color celery, and I painted the larger portion, which will also be the top of my little phone stand. While that is finishing up drying, I grabbed the little wooden tile holder, Scrabble holder, and I painted that white. That's going to be holding my phone. And once that was painted white, I removed the tape from my bamboo cutting board, retaped it so that I could paint the bottom portion again, just using some of this Waverly chalk paint in the color white. With the board being dry, I pulled off the painter's tape, and now I've got this two-tone looking board. Now for the bottom, I wanted to put something down there. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to do words like maybe recipe or what's for dinner or something like that. But then I decided I just wanted to use one of these stencils. It's a plaid stencil pack, plastic reusable stencils I had in my stash. So the first thing I did was just place down my little wooden holder there so that I could see how much room I'd have for a stencil. Then I picked one of the stencils out of the pack. I applied it to the bottom of this board using some painter's tape and making sure that it was secure and tight against it. And then to help with bleeding, I did go over the entire stencil with a coat of Mod Podge just to kind of help contain that paint bleed. Once the Mod Podge was dry, I went ahead and went in with some gold paint using a stencil brush, and I just dabbed up and down until the entire stencil was painted. The stencil is finished, so I grabbed my wooden piece and some of this Gorilla Clear Grip glue to get that secured to my board. And now it's time to attach the easel to the back of the board. So here I have this Gorilla Clear Grip glue, and you guys know I keep it real here, so watch me do this. Is anyone catching on here as to why there is a problem with this? Yeah, this is what happened.
Oh, no.
Oh, dang it.
Not what I just did. Not what I just did. Absolutely not. Oh my god. Okay, don't do what I just did.
Yep, I glued it on backwards. Had I left it like that, I wouldn't have been able to use the easel. So the glue needs to go on the black portion of this. And if I hadn't realized it another minute or two, because this Gorilla Glue sets up so fast, I would have been doomed. But I did realize it. So I got it fixed. And when you apply this, the main thing you want to do here is just, I would hold up your bamboo cutting board and just make sure that the easel is level with the bottom of the bamboo cutting board. That will ensure that when you do use that kickstand on the easel, it will function properly. I did end up painting the back of this with that same celery green once the easel was attached and dry. And then of course you do want to go in and seal this, especially if you're going to be using it in the kitchen, just to protect that paint and to make it easy to wipe off any food or anything you might get on there while you're cooking. But there you go, you've got yourself a nice phone holder that you can use anywhere in your home. Let's take a minute to take a look at this laser, the CRICUT Laser Falcon 2 Pro. If you got some gift cards or cash for Christmas, this may be what you want. Quickly want to touch on the packaging. It was awesome. Everything had a place. It was very well packed with styrofoam, so A+ on that. As far as weight, I was able to lift it pretty easily myself, put it on the table, and size-wise, it's a good size. I don't feel like it's super big and bulky. It is a little bit taller than I was thinking, but again, not a deal breaker to say the least. Now, when it came to assembly, the instructions were very basic. They were kind of just a one-sentence thing. There were a couple places where I did struggle putting this together, and I do feel like they missed the mark as far as putting a QR code there, where that would send you to some videos that perhaps they share about assembling it. But overall, I was able to do it in about 45 minutes. As I was assembling this, I noticed some really good features. It does have a built-in top camera, which is going to help with accurate alignment. And the red portion, the lid of this, that's where I struggled the most getting this assembled. But it does provide a fully transparent viewing area for you to watch your project. The tray is also a great feature. You simply slide it out and you can very easily clean all the little pieces of wood and bits that fall from your projects. Now, when it comes to safety, they've gone above and beyond. This one has a key that you have to turn it on with this key in order for the laser to activate and be ready. It also has an emergency stop button. So in my opinion, they've gone way above other competitors with the safety. On one side, you will find an integrated air assist that has adjustable airflow to meet your various cutting and engraving projects there on the side. And then on the other side, you can control the light feature. Notice on the front, there is a control panel. You can use that by inserting an SD card on the side that might have projects and using that as well to create your projects. Now, this laser does not have an included software for it, so that could be a pro or a con. A pro meaning you don't have to try to learn a new software, but a con if you're not sure what to use. It is compatible with Lightburn. I had never used Lightburn before, so I did try that, and I was actually able to pick it up pretty quickly without too much trouble. It didn't take long for it to cut, and once it was finished, this is how it looked. I made a tree topper for my travel themed tree. It cut very smooth, very quickly in my opinion, and I loved how this turned out. When it comes to engraving and scoring, I was very impressed with that. It did a very clean and accurate engraving and score on this ornament. I feel like that top built-in camera really contributes to that. If you're hoping for a laser, all the information is down below in the description box. Check out the sale. Now let's get back to the video. Grab yourself a vase and some dowel rods along with some miter shears for this project. You're going to start by cutting down your dowel rods to different sizes. I did mine 3 different sizes. We're going to be wrapping these around the vase and then adding something to it. So once you decide your 3 links, get those all cut, and then we're going to start attaching this to the vase. Now I'm using my SureBonder glue pen. I will definitely link this down below along with everything else in today's video. One little tip that I wish I'd thought of, because it's going to make this next step a lot easier, is when you're putting the glue on your dowel rod, leave about 1/4 of an inch of the dowel rod on the top portion of it, and then run the glue down the rest of the dowel rod so that the top pieces of the dowel rod that are towards the middle of the vase don't have any glue on them. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm just going to do that and go all the way around attaching my dowel rods with the hot glue. I want to tell you real quickly what my original vision was for this. I wanted baby's breath. I went to 3 different stores, couldn't find it anywhere, couldn't find dried baby's breath at Hobby Lobby, so I just found some other small little flowers from Hobby Lobby. They were on sale this week, so that works. They're pink, it's cute. And what you want to do is just trim these flowers down, and we're going to start sticking them just kind of, randomly at the tops of these dowel rods. So now you'll see why I said don't glue the top. It'll make it so much easier to slide these pieces of florals in. I did have to use a little bit of hot glue to get some of them tacked, but once I went all the way around with the florals and I got it looking how I wanted to, I did want to finish it off with a pretty organza ribbon, so I just grabbed a pink one that I had in my stash, tied it around, added my candle, and then this little floral candle holder was good to go. This is a DIY that you can customize for many different seasons. I grabbed 2 8x10 canvases from Dollar Tree. You can grab any size that you want to. I like the 8x10 just because for storing purposes, if you are going to make it multi-seasonal, it makes it a little bit easier, as well as the actual wood frame, when you break these down, it doesn't have that little gap. I know the bigger frames have that gap, and I always want to fill it in with wood filler because I want it to be a streamlined look. So this is just a solid wood frame, which is really nice. I started by breaking down the canvas by removing the actual canvas piece from the frame using a hobby knife, and then I did kind of grab off all of the little scraps. I did not remove the staples, but I did rip off as much of the canvas that I could. The frame was a little rough, so I knew that I needed to sand it, but I did sand it with some 220 grit sandpaper, and then taking some brown wax. You could definitely use stain, you could use paint, or you could leave it natural. I did one good coat of the brown wax on both the frames. I will be using some of this heat transfer paper. You use this with your regular printer. And what I did is I went into Canva and found 2 images of flowers in a watering pail that I liked. Now, here's one thing you need to keep in mind when you work with this heat transfer paper. The paper is white, and so anywhere that it is white, that white color will also be pressed onto your design. So I personally didn't mind it. I did a very loose trim. It kind of highlights it, and honestly, it is not that noticeable once you press it down, but do keep that in mind if you decide to use heat transfer paper. Once I got it all trimmed, I laid it out on my canvas, and you need to peel the backing off of your image, set it down, and then I used my heat press set on 300 for 15 seconds each. My images are pressed down, and now I just need to reattach the canvas back to the frame. So I am actually using hot glue because I'm not planning to change these out, but I did mention you could make this multi-seasonal, and to do that, all you would need to do is just use Velcro to attach the canvas, and then when you maybe want to make a Christmas one or a fall one, you just simply pull it off, and because these are flat, you could store these in a file folder. Not much storage needed to make this multi-seasonal piece. I'll be starting with one of these wooden heart frames. Now, I did pick mine up from Michael's for $1. They do sell this same wooden frame at Dollar Tree for $1.25. The Dollar Tree one is a little bit thinner than this one, if I remember right. So I just grabbed this one because I thought it would be better for this project. I'm going to take off the wrapping. I'm going to save that little peg leg thing. It's actually going to turn out to be something you can use in your craft space, or you can gift it to someone who also loves to craft. So what I'm doing now is I took the little heart insert that was in the frame and used that as a template to trace a heart on some cardboard. I actually bought a pack of cardboard sheets because I use it when I ship packages, and I'm surprised how much I'm using it. I will definitely link everything from today's video down below for you, so if you have any questions, just check the description box. Once I got the heart shaped to where I needed to and made sure that it would fit inside there, I grabbed some stuffing from an old pillow and started to just hot glue that down. Now, you want a lot of stuffing on there. You want to make this super puffy, and once you get enough stuffing on there, you need a fabric choice. So I'm just going with the purple polka dot fabric that I had to kind of match the frame. And this fabric is going to cover over our puffy heart, and we're going to be shoving it in there. So what we're making is a little pin cushion, and then we're going to kind of customize it in a minute. So what you want to do is at this point, it's kind of trial and error, and you just kind of shove it in there, see how much stuffing you need, get it looking how you want, trim off the extra, and then I just used hot glue to kind of pull the edges of the fabric and glue it to the back of that cardboard piece. Once the back is all secure and the pieces are tucked, the little metal, I guess, pieces that were on the frame is all I'm using to hold this in. I did not hot glue this into the frame at all. Those little metal pieces did wonders and held it in place. I took a decal that I just went into Cricut Design Space and quickly created it. I will definitely have that linked down below for you as well, and applied that with some white vinyl. And then once that was done, I did attach the little peg leg thing to the back of it so that this can kind of stand up. And then I am using this pin cushion for my longer pins. So I have this little hedgehog one that has shorter sewing pins on it, but I've also got these butterfly pins that I picked up a while ago, and I just wanted something different. And I thought this would be perfect because it's pastel colors and it looks really pretty. So I'm going to use that to hold these longer push pins. And now you've got a cute little accessory for your craft space, or even something to gift to a crafty friend. Grab 2 cutting boards and 2 wood trim pieces for this project. What we're going to make is kind of a, I don't know what to call it, a sandwich vase. That's what we're going to call it. And what we need to do in order to get these 2 bamboo boards put together, we're going to use those wooden pieces to do the sides and the bottom of our vase so that we can actually stick flowers in it. So what you need to do is just kind of decide the lengths that you need these boards, and for the sides I did about 6 inches, and then the bottom piece just fit nicely in between. It was about 4 inches, and I just used my miter saw and box, so I ended up with 3 pieces, 2 sides that were the same length, and then 1 shorter piece to make the bottom portion of the vase. I used Gorilla Glue to get my little U-shaped wooden, I don't know what you want to call it, insert attached. And then I made sure to pick up the vase like this so that the 2 bamboo boards were level so that this would sit, weight it down so that this could dry overnight and become really secure. Once that was done, I was like, it needs something else, and I thought adding a lace element to this would look so pretty. So I started with just 1 piece of lace. I just hot glued it, and I really liked how that looked, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to add a couple of more, and it just kind of made it really, really simple, really, really pretty. This would be a great little piece to use for wedding centerpieces, baby showers. You could put baby's breath in there, some pink roses. I think it would be really, really pretty for summertime. You will need to grab some type of picture or frame from Dollar Tree for this project. Now, this is a great project for anyone who has lost someone, especially maybe if you lost someone in 2024. Once you paint your frame, get your frame ready. I just did some green paint and painted over the sign. You want to find a picture of whoever it is who you lost. So this is my mom. And I took her signature from one of the cards that she gave me that says "Love Mom," and I simply scanned it and put it into CRICUT so that I could cut out her handwriting with my CRICUT machine. It was very simple to do. I simply just put it in there as a PNG, got rid of all the extra, and then just cut it with some regular vinyl. And then for the picture, I just did use double-sided tape because I figured, you know what, I might want to replace the picture throughout the year. You could add a clothespin to it if you wanted to. I applied the vinyl, and that's it. It is very, very simple, but it's a very, very sentimental piece. I grabbed another bamboo cutting board and painted it with this fawn colored paint by Decor. I painted the entire thing full coverage. I grabbed a pack of these wooden candlestick holders that I got in a pack from Hobby Lobby, and taking some brown stain, I coated them with the brown stain and then went back in with a baby wipe to wipe off some of the excess stain. Time to get the stencil applied, so I found a design in CRICUT Design Space that I just had cut out on my CRICUT Maker, and then I applied it directly to the board. I got some of the Waverly white chalk paint and my stencil brush, and then using an up and down motion, I just dabbed on the paint until I liked how it looked. I did go ahead and go for full coverage for this one. To get this sealed, I used some Amy Howard liquid sealer. Once it was dry, I was ready to attach my candlestick legs, and to do that, I just used, again, the Gorilla Clear Grip glue to get those attached, and I made sure to let these dry overnight, well, about 24 hours, and then this riser was ready to be used. If you want to get more organized in 2025 and not lose your items, you definitely want to make this. Grab a tray from Dollar Tree. I had this one in my stash. We're going to make a valet tray. Now, I am using my CRICUT, but I'll tell you in a second how to do this without. So I just cut out my stencils. You guys have seen me do this process so many times. Put my stencils down, grabbed some torch paste, applied it, let it sit for 3 minutes, pull up my stencils, and then using a high heat gun, I just burned the wood, and then of course you can seal it. Now, if you don't have a CRICUT, simply print out a picture on your printer, grab some graphite paper, trace that image on your tray, and you're just going to paint it. Or you could sketch it out and very carefully paint torch paste in an outline and wood burn it just as easily. So you definitely can get this look if you don't have a CRICUT. The main thing is you definitely want to seal it, especially if you're going to be throwing keys on there and items that might scratch up the tray a little bit. You could add legs to this if you wanted to. So many different design options, but here is something that will keep all of your chaos contained. At some point in 2025, you'll probably have a celebration, so you'll want to make this to help display some treats. Grab one of the Dollar Tree pegboards along with some of these wood trim pieces. I'm going to trim 2 of them down to fit the length, the long side of each of this pegboard. Then on the front, I'm going to trim down a piece of scrapbook paper. I'm just using kind of a generic floral one, but again, you could adapt this to any occasion that you want, whether it's an Easter one, Valentine's, birthday, Christmas, Halloween, whatever you want. And then I had this piece that was in my stash and I needed the wood base from it. And once I got that unscrewed, I covered that with some pink cardstock. I took my awl and poked all the holes into the pegboard because this is where you're going to be able to stick your treats down into the hole. So I just felt like this was the easy way to get that accomplished. Then taking some hot glue, I attached those 2 wood trim pieces to the pegboard. To finish off the edges, I wrapped the base with some of this twill ribbon and just secured it with some hot glue. Then taking some gold sticker letters, I put the word celebrate onto that pink, or that piece of wood that I wrapped with the pink cardstock. I added some dowel rods into my little pegboard and then glued the celebrate sign to that. Added some bows, and then I realized the base, the pegboard base, did need some styrofoam in there because you're going to be poking things in there and I want it to be stable. So I just trimmed down some styrofoam pieces to put inside the pegboard, and then this was ready to be filled up with delicious treats. Now this piece will also help you get organized in 2025, or it will be a great piece to display some of your home decor items. You want to grab some of these mini trays from Dollar Tree. However many you want to grab is up to you. I ended up grabbing 9 of them along with some of these trim pieces also from Dollar Tree. Once you figure out your configuration, I'm doing 3x3, you're going to want to attach these together. You want to use a very strong glue, not hot glue. Now watch me, you're like, yeah, Courtney, you just said don't use hot glue. Well, this is actually wood hot glue. So I wouldn't use a regular hot glue. I would use a specialty glue, whether it's this wood hot glue, regular wood glue, or, you know, Gorilla Clear Grip, whatever your strong adhesive glue is. Once you figure that out, you want to measure your trim pieces and cut those down. I just used my miter saw to do that. And then before I finish assembling it, I'm going to stain the whole thing. So you can paint it, you can stain it, you can leave it natural if you want to. Once it's all nice and dry, then you can attach those trim pieces. And I wanted to add some little metal label brackets. I got these in a huge pack from Amazon, and I just screwed those in really easily to this. Now this is a very great storage thing for paint. It could be a storage thing for paint brushes. It could be a storage for glitter bottles, sprinkles in your kitchen, spices in your kitchen. So many different options of how you could use this to help you get organized in 2025. Let's talk giveaway. So I'm going to give away an Amazon goodie box. I'm going to fill it with some of my most favorite things that I get from Amazon that you guys see in my videos. Here's how you enter. Like this video, and then in the comments, tell me what type of DIY projects and content are you looking forward to in 2025. Make sure to fill out the entry form in the description box. And if you are an Insider Creative Club member, that means you get my weekly newsletter. Check this Friday's newsletter to figure out how to get your bonus entry. The giveaway will run from today until Monday, January 6th, noon Central Time. The winner will be emailed. Once all things are confirmed, I will announce it on my community tab. Good luck, everybody. And that wraps up the last video for 2024. Let me know down below if you've made any of these projects or if you are planning to make any for 2025. Don't forget to enter the giveaway, and also let me know in the comments what type of content, no matter what it is, drop it down below that you would like to see me do in 2025. My first video for 2025 will be January 8th, and I cannot wait for you to see it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the new year. Bye.